Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing great today. I'm just going to get right into it. I'll start with my story real quick. So, I met this girl about around 3 years ago, and pretty we were pretty close. We hit it off right off the bat. I immediately fell in love with this girl, and she was from Spain, and she came and stayed with us for the summer. And it was just like a movie. I mean, it was like things were meant to be. It was awesome. It was the best. I've never been so in love, and I've never been so happy with someone. My heart just knew, like, wow, is this what love feels like, right? So anyway, our lives were very different. It was very hard to make it work because we were in two different parts of the planet, but I enjoyed every moment I had with her when she was here. And I'll never forget it. It was just like a movie. But anyway, moving past that, time goes. I go to college. She drops me off at my college, and we finally have to say goodbye. She was getting ready to go back to Spain. I was going to college in a dorm. So we said our goodbyes. And we kept on talking. We were talking like every day over the phone, all day, every day. It was great for me. I moved to a whole new city without knowing anyone, and it was really nice to have her around and being able to call me and give me company. We would take naps together and blah blah. Long story short, I really loved this girl, and it got to the point where I would do anything it took to be with her. So what did I do the first time when she got back to Spain? I actually refunded one of my college classes, which was around $2,000. And I used that to buy a plane ticket and to go see her the first time. I didn't have a job in college, so I was just living off of a little bit of TikTok. And the point being is sometimes you just love someone so much you're willing to do whatever it takes. I would even say that I loved her more than I really loved myself. That's really what destroys somebody. That really destroys someone. At the end of the day, there was another moment where I didn't have money to go see her. So I actually started I was really into fitness back then. So I started a coaching program, and I made like $700 just to buy my flight. And again, in a span of 3 weeks, I made $700, which was enough to buy my flight, and boom, I bought my freaking flight. And I never really realized how much I'm willing to do something just for someone. But I need to, sometimes we just have to understand that sometimes in life we just chase the wrong things, right? Not necessarily because we want to chase those things, but because deep in our subconscious mind, there's something that's hurting, whether that's validation. At least for me, it was validation, it was love, it was someone that would choose me over anyone, right? In the process of being with this girl, there were a lot of times where I would be very jealous, right? I heard another guy's name, I would freak out. And that tells me that I was living with a lot of insecurity, a lot of self-doubt, very low self-esteem. I knew I looked good, right? My whole life I've gone with just looks maxing. I gotta look the best of the best. And I gotta be better than everyone else at everything. I gotta have more money, I gotta look better, I gotta be stronger, I gotta be whatever, right? It was just a very toxic mentality that I had adapted, and it wasn't healthy at all. 3 years go by with this girl, and I'm trying to go through her phone, right? I was very toxic. I was trying to get through her phone. I was hitting stuff. I was really just not myself. I would never recognize myself. I couldn't control my anger. I realized this all comes down to your childhood and how, the way that we think is based, and the way that we act and the way that we handle emotions is all comes down to your inner child and your childhood. Every wound that you have as a child shows up in a way in your adult life. Me and this girl we broke up about 2 months ago, and I was able to block her, and I felt sad, but I've always tried to avoid the pain. I always tried to avoid it. And it wasn't until I made the mistake to go to Spain, and that's where she was from, and I stayed in the places where we stayed, and it was a horrible experience. It destroyed me mentally. It really brought me to my lowest moments, and I would say this was actually my lowest moment in my life. The mentality that I had showed up again, right? Even though we were not together, it showed up again, and I'm saying horrible things to myself that I don't even want to repeat. And I'm subconsciously saying it in my mind, and I'm starting to believe it, that that's all that matters. None of the physical things in the world matter, right? The things that really do matter is who you're a person. And success is not, I don't determine success by money anymore, by having these cool cars, right? That's not success to me anymore. Will I still try to achieve that? Absolutely. That's just a plus in life. Real success comes down to inner peace. Okay? Once you're happy here, you're going to be happy wherever you are, whether you're broke, whether you're rich, right? You have to really be patient with yourself, right? Especially at any age, there's always improvement, and there's always new things that you're finding out about yourself. You just have to listen to it sometimes. I'm still in the process of grieving, and I am in a lot of pain. I just got back from my trip to Spain around 2 days ago. And it's been tough. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything for you guys. I have had severe anxiety. I have been shaking at night. I've been crying to the point where I'm throwing up. I've been so upset that there's just a constant void in my chest 24/7. I cannot get a break from it. Even if I distract myself, there's nothing that I can get a break from, right? Nothing I do is giving me a break. However, that does not mean that it's going to last forever. This is your body's response to a withdrawal, right? A withdrawal happens with anything that you rely on in your life. Whether that is a person, a thing, or an item. Anything that you rely on, right, to feel okay is a withdrawal. And for me, because of my childhood wounds and because of everything that has happened in my life, I've developed a mentality where I feel like I want someone to love me and just me, right? They can't have any friends. I mean, not that they can't have any friends, but, at the end of the day, I just want someone to choose me and only me. And I will have that, but in a different mindset, right? We have to try to rewire our brains. We don't fix this now, it is going to affect us. Okay? So remember it doesn't last forever, which is the best thing about that. And sometimes, when we're in these moments, our brain wants to tell us how, this is going to take years, I'm going to feel like this forever. And it's not true. Yes, does every day hurt? Absolutely. Okay? I wake up in the morning and I already feel that void in my chest before my feet even touch the ground. Okay? I have horrible thoughts of, her being with someone else, someone better. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. let's figure out and do the best to self-improve, not just physically, but self-improve mentally and spiritually. That is what really matters. Because remember, once you're happy here, nothing else is going to take away your peace, right? You will always have peace once you are happy with yourself and happy with the life that you live. Now, if you live a life that you don't like, there's always stuff that you can do, you know? I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's going to be easy. It's a difficult and could be a long process. Time heals wounds if you do the right things. And that is why it is very important to nurture your mind. What you feed in your mind will affect you, okay? Social media. I'm talking about social media. Any type of social media that you watch every single day affects you subconsciously, even if you don't know it. So it's always very important, at least for me, to limit that or to be very aware of what I am feeding my brain. This also includes friends. Okay? You have to really remember who you are as a person. And if you don't know, figure things out, right? We all have different things that we're good at. It doesn't necessarily have to be a skill. It could be, maybe you're a gentleman, right? That's one of the things I'm really good at being, is being romantic, being a gentleman, being into health and spirituality. And most importantly, I really care. I'm really good at caring about how everyone feels and making sure that they're okay. So you can figure out what you're good at and practice it, okay? I used to care so much. Let me give you one example before I let you guys go. But I used to care so much about looks maxing. I cared about my appearance all the time. And I'm not saying that you should just let yourself go. Obviously not, right? But that's not everything to life. And that's a big misconception that we have in today's world, is especially with all the social media that we consume. It's not everything. Have you guys ever seen that couple that there's like an ugly dude, not ugly dude, but just, you know, not the best looking in your eyes, and it's just with a beautiful woman that loves him and that nurtures him, and then just his emotional peace. I've seen that. Not necessarily because he was attractive, but because maybe he had the skill of connecting with people. Maybe he had the skill of, you know, just being funny, or something that he has made a beautiful woman be attracted to him. And I just want you guys to do 3 things. I know everyone that's watching this is a good person, okay? And everything will be okay. Just remember that things will be okay, and this is just a temporary. Life comes in phases. Nothing ever lasts forever, okay? It's just, remember that. And 3 things, right? Remember 3 things that you're good at. Again, not necessarily a skill. And type them in the comments. I wanna read it, and be kind to yourselves, guys. It's a difficult and long process, but it's gonna be okay. Do things that are healthy for you. All right, I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.